How you doing? So today I'm going to do the mature makeup look. I have my lovely model here, Sharon, who's 56 years old. She's got lovely skin, but I'll just give you some tips and tricks on how to apply makeup, what's the best makeup to apply on more mature skin. Now we're going to start off, her face is already cleansed, so I'm going to start off with some vitamin C cream and I'm going to just put that all over her face. Vitamin C is really good for more mature skin because it's really good for like hydrating and giving back some glow as well to the skin. So you just pop that on everywhere. You don't have to put on too much of it. You just put on a light layer of that. So next I'm going to use the hyaluronic acid spray. It's really good for more mature skin because by the age of 20, your hyaluronic acid starts to diminish in your skin, and then by the age of 50, it's already halved. So it's really important to put the hydration back into the skin before you start applying makeup. I'm going to use the Iconic Underglow Primer. That's really good because it gives a nice glow and a dewy finish underneath the makeup. So I'm just going to apply the primer then mostly to the T-zone area of the face because that's the most important place to keep the hydration when you have makeup on so it doesn't start to look cakey and stuff. For the eyes, I'm going to add the Be Perfect Eye Primer Base. This is really good because it helps the shadow stay in place, and also it picks up the pigment a lot stronger when you have a base on rather than just putting eyeshadow straight onto the eye, and it also helps with fallout from the shadow. I'm going to use the Blank Canvas Master Palette for Sharon today. She's got lovely brown eyes, so I'm going to use some brown tones to just make them pop a little bit more. And I'm just going to start on the outer corner with a bit of a darker shade, just to build up some depth. Now, if Sharon opens her eye there, you'll see that Sharon's eyes are slightly hooded. Now, this can happen as you mature also. So you can make a fake crease in the eye, so when you lift the eye, you're not losing all the shadow under the hood. So what I'm going to do is keep Sharon her eye open there, and I'm just going to see where her eye naturally, where I can do the fake crease, just above where her natural crease is. So I just roughly go across there and then open your eye. And I can see now that the shadow, when it's applied, is going to be perfectly seen because she now has a fake eye socket line. So I'll go off camera now and I'll do that and I'll show you it when it's finished, okay? So now that's all blended in there and her fake crease is created. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in with a little bit of a light shimmer, which is called Goddess. And we're just going to go right under the brow line just to give a little bit of illumination. And it lifts the eyebrow too when you do that. And also with a hooded eye, if you do put a little bit of shimmer on the top, it's taken away from the hooded part, so it does give it a nice little lift and it's highlighting the bone rather than sinking it in. So you just go right along the brow line like that, and then you get a fluffy brush and you just blend it out then. And then you'll see that kind of gives the definition from the light to the dark, and it also has brought her brow line up, so it gives more of an arched brow, which with a hooded eye you need to try and arch your brow as much as you can to give as much space on the eyelid as possible. I'm going to go in now with some Kash Beauty eyeshadow topper. This is just really nice on mature skin because you can close your eye now, because with mature skin you kind of want to stay away from mattes as much as possible. Same with the foundations. So I just put a little bit on the palette and I'm just going to start now on the inner corner of the eye and just work a little bit across. I kind of always like the shimmer just to kind of come halfway across the eye and just work it upwards. It just opens up the eye and just gives that little bit of lightness. You don't want to go up onto the brow line though, so you just kind of keep it in the eye socket and up a little bit to where you have the fake crease made, so you can just work it up and out that way. And then I kind of like to keep the corners more dense and dark just so we can add some depth to the eye, so I don't bring it right out to the corner. I kind of stop just 3/4 ways. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to do a small just line across the top lash. This is just going to give back depth to the lashes. This is a really good tip for as you do age because you lose the definition here. So by actually just making that more dense there, you're going to give the eye much more depth and definition. I just am using a gel liner and I'm just going to do a very thin layer just on the I'm going to be kind of nearly on the lashes, not actually on the skin. You're nearly just half on the lashes and half on the skin. And you just want to give a little bit of depth back into the lashes there. And also if you're doing some fake lashes, you kind of have to have something here to stick them to. So you kind of, it will give you like the fake line to kind of go along. But it just gives a little bit more depth to the eye there by doing that. So next I'm going to go in with Revolution Big Lash, and I'm just going to do a light layer of mascara on the eyelid just to before I put the lashes on. This is a waterproof mascara, which I'd always recommend if you're doing makeup for a special occasion. Okay, Sharon, if you just open your eye now and blink, and blink, and blink, and blink. So that's just one coat, and now I'm just going to go in with some individual lashes. I'm going to do a little bit longer on the outside and just work into a cat eye. So now I'm going to apply just the individual lashes. You can pick these up anywhere, like you can get them in Pennies or you can get them on Shein. Anywhere really does them at all, and you just pop them onto the sides and then you just work your way in with the lashes then, and you can kind of go smaller as you're going in more to the side, inside of the. So now I have the lashes on, and I just have a few on the sides just to create a cat eye look, because that really suits Sharon's eye shape and eye type. So now I'm just going to go in with some black kohl liner, and if you just look up, Sharon, and I'm just going to draw that on underneath, because black suits most eyes and it really does make the eye pop. You'll see now the difference in the two eyes. So if you just want to look straight ahead there, you'll see the difference in the eye with the liner is much more, the colour is much more prominent and everything as well. So now we're moving on to the face, and I'm just going to put some eye cream under Sharon's eyes, because that will stop any cakiness underneath the eye, which is really important before you apply any makeup. Now I'm going to go in with Revolution Corrective Palette, and I'm just going to use the kind of orangey colours under the eye, because that's really good for getting rid of if you have any brown circles or tiredness or anything under the eye. This will just neutralise all underneath the base before you go in. And then the green is used if you have any redness anywhere. So you can see she has a little bit on her nose there. So we're just going to do that, and that will neutralise it. And then when we put on the foundation, it'll be a neutral base to start with. Now there's two foundations that are really good for mature skin. The first one is NARS Longwear Foundation. Now this is really good because it's a nice light consistency. It's not too heavy on the skin, and it's buildable, so you can start off and you can just build it up as you go along. And the next one then is Sculpted by Amy Second Skin. This is really good. It has got hyaluronic acid in it as well, so this is very good. And this to be even better, the more mature the skin, the better this is, because it's very, very light and it's a dewy finish. You want to stay away from matte foundations as your skin matures, because a matte foundation is going to sit into every line and crevice, whereas a dewy finish foundation is going to glaze over and it's going to be much more subtle on the skin. So today I'm going to go with the NARS Longwear Foundation. So I'm just going to apply that to Sharon's face now. So as you're applying the makeup, you can rub it on first of all, but the best way to get it into the skin is with a patting motion. So if you just lightly hold the brush at the very end, because that will give a softer touch on the skin, and you just do the patting motion all along the skin, everywhere, all over, instead of rubbing, because when you're rubbing you're only moving it around. When you're patting, you're actually patting it into the skin, into the pores, so it will give much more of a flawless finish. So next I'm going to go in, I'm just going to set under the eye with Sculpted by Amy Velvet Veil. Now, it's really important that when you do under the eye, now Sharon, because I've done so much colour correction, Sharon doesn't really need concealer under the eye. I am going to just do a little bit of light concealer here just to give a snatched effect. But for now, once you put the foundation on or your concealer, it's really important to set under the eye straight away, because you don't want that's when the creases come. So once it's set, you're less likely to get creases. So if you just look up there, Sharon, and then you just set under the eye, and that's the only part you have to set immediately, because it's stopping, you're kind of getting in with the powder before you get a chance to do the creases. Now, as you mature, you don't want to put loads of powder on, you just want a little bit of powder just to set it, but you don't want too much because it's going to go into any creases you have. So as you can see, I just put a tiny bit on there. Now that bit's set, so now we can move on to the rest of the face and not worry about any creases under the eye. Next, I'm going to go in with the Benefit Cakeless Concealer, and this is in a light shade. It's in shade 2H01, so it's a very light shade. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do a small line of it, just right across from the corner of the eye, and just go up along to about just before the hairline. And then we're just going to get that, and we're just going to pat it in and pat it down, and you just keep going along there like that until it's all blended. It kind of does look harsh at the beginning, but once you keep patting and blending, sometimes you might have to get a fluffy brush as well and just keep patting and blending it until it's fully blended. Now I'm going to have to go to part 2 for the rest, so you just follow on there to part 2 to see the finished result.